Coast Guards and Navy have a vast variety of tasks. One of them is search and rescue. In today's presentation, I'm going to talk about the smart solutions Saab offers to these Coast Guards and Navies to unlock their full Coast Guard potential. As we know, a lot of countries have responsibilities in the open seas, and for example, the UAE has 59,000 square kilometers of responsibility. This vast arena, this vast area is so big that assets have to be tasked in a very, very smart way to make sure that every action out on these open seas counts in the right way. Saab offers a variety of solutions to cover that, looking at integrated communication systems, AAS transponder sets and base stations, integrated radars, optical sensors, and of course all the assets available. One of the other assets we think is very growing at the moment is the utilization of drones. Drones are having a much more higher view angle than the vessels at sea. At a vessel, you can imagine it's very hard to see victims which are out in the waters from the viewing angle. So these sets of drones give a much better viewing angle with their optical sensors. One of the challenges is to make sure that all the traffic in the air is assessed and being managed in the right way. There's also a lot of commercial traffic going around. And the fact is that we need to deconflict activities in those areas, for example, the commercial flights going into airports close to the sea, etc. Saab has been running tests in the recent past and at the moment, and these tests have been running very well. One of the other things is very important is the common operating picture from the shore to be able to manage all these assets out at sea. We integrate information from platforms, from vessels, and even from planes. All the sensor input is coming into the shorelines data, and it also enables other VTS centers and operation centers to utilize that data. Going to the rescue part, we all know the sad stories currently going on in the Mediterranean Sea. Only last year, in 2016, more than 4,600 refugees have sadly passed away during the trying to move over from Northern Africa all the way up into Europe. And this gives a lot of tasks to the Coast Guards and Navies out there. You can imagine that when the assets are tasked for medical evacuations, etc., there's medics on board of the helicopters who need to take on the victims into their helicopter, and sometimes special medical care is needed. We enable the fact that even doctors from the shoreline can dial in from a distance and make sure that the medics on the ground can give the right medical care at that moment. Imagine the way and the location where all these people are operating. It is an interesting, heavy environment. The picture behind me gives you the opportunity to see what's going on a relative calm day at sea. Imagine it being dark even, and higher waves, etc. And therefore, the vast coordination and integration of sensor data is very important. Next to that, our cutting-edge technology and capabilities enable the forces going out to import the workflows they have and the processes, the decision making. So we also support their decision making in a very smart way so that they can focus on all the activities they really need to focus on, and they're not harassed by all these sub workflows and forget anything. Behind me there's also a picture of the Common Operating Center in the Dutch Coast Guard. It's a very fast environment where we can see that all the data is integrated into the systems, and that the Dutch Coast Guard control centers have a continuously overview of the common operational picture, the weather influences, and even exactly know where all the assets are tasked at that certain specific moment. Even better then being able to do a good search and rescue is actually preventing things from happening. By analyzing traffic patterns which are stored in our systems, we can assess where potential hotspots are, where there is a potential for dangerous situations, and that the assets can be tasked at the right moment, in the right place, even in advance of something happening, so that the approach times are much less. The way we work together with people to integrate this information is very specific for Saab as well. All in all, it comes to a common operating picture, being able to know where your assets are, integrate all the possible sensor input into the systems. And I would like to invite you very much to visit it at the Marine Traffic Management booth, where we have the coastal control demonstrator, which we can all tell you more in detail about. Thank you for your attention.